So what we're looking at here is just a breakdown of the defensive pattern of round 3. This is the Crusaders versus the Moana Pacifica. So basically this is just looking at how the teams have reshaped and broken play to defend counter-attack. So basically what's happened is that we've had the play, so we've had several phases over here from the play here. Basically we've got a breakdown here, and then the ball gets fed out to this person here, and so we've got the sideline here and we've got the sideline here, and they're kind of back in their halves on the Moana Pacifica half. And so essentially what's happened is that we've had the Crusaders defensive line come up here, and then as soon as this player's got the ball and shape to make a decision, we see that the Crusaders fall into this shape here where they've got effectively a bit of a diamond, I suppose. And so in terms of the options that gives this player here, they can either go up here. If they push out this way, that's fine. What the Crusaders have done is they've left this channel here for them to play, and I mean if that play went out there, that'd be perfect, because they'll just isolate them, close them off, and take that ball, using that outline as the additional defender. Or the player could go back this way, in which instance, which is actually ends up what happens. Still, they've kind of got this shape here, and what they've also got is this person in the back here. So if anyone kind of gets through there, they've got a, let's say, a contingency defender there. So this attacking player looks to fold around here. This attacking player dummies and then tries going in here, and then basically ends up getting closed down well behind the advantage line, and then the Crusaders are able to push up. But just a really good example of in broken play falling into a really effective defensive shape to close off the options for that counter attack.
Mauger waits. The right foot puts up the contestable. Goes Richie Mauger. And Billy has done well there. They've got an advantage too. One against Kenny Naholo.
Yeah, you have advantage.
Inari McClutchy has an advantage to work with. Toala.
Under pressure, guys. No advantage. Just in the air, penalty only.
So what we can see here is just effectively the exact same situation, but rather than the Moana Pacifica team being stuck down in their half and having to attack out, we've got the Crusaders that get caught down in their half and have to attack out, and it's a almost identical situation where we've got this, we've got a couple of phases up here, and then this person gets almost isolated, so the ball gets out to this person here, who's back with little or no support, and so they've got to kind of counter-attack their way out of there, and so what actually happens is they end up doing that. So we can just see here, and we kind of contrast what the Crusaders did. The Moana Pacifica defense actually sets up pretty similarly on this edge, which is actually pretty good, because again, what it does is it gives that person space to effectively isolate themselves over here, and then they can kind of close them off, which is great. But what they don't do is they don't look at how they're covering the potential counter-attack from other directions, or if that person breaks through. So there's no kind of contingency defense or shape around that. And so what this person here actually ends up doing is coming back this way, and because they haven't organised quick enough to cover that space there, what they do is effectively negate the value of having that shape there, because as we can see here, there's a huge channel up this inside line, and so what the Crusaders are able to do is just get on let's say the outside of this person here, so they can kind of cut off that defensive person, and then they get someone taking that channel. But because these guys are over here, that person gets through because we don't have that structure there, gets straight through that channel and makes pretty huge gain up the field because those players aren't there to defend. Whereas if we look at that in contrast to what the Crusaders did, which is effectively that they had a person there and then a person there, even if this person was able to switch back this side, get that inside channel, that would be closed down pretty quickly by this person and this person coming in here, so they wouldn't have been able to make that line gain. So again, just a really good example of what to do and what not to do. And here's a really good example of, if the structure isn't right, how to counter this, and effectively it's taking it to that outside of that defender, cutting them off, and running that line, because running it straight means that you're closer to those people to cut you off. But if you just run straight in line with those defensive players, you're going to be able to get past them and make a pretty decent gain line.
What's James Dolman say here? He says play on. Big wide pass for Dominic Gardner. Wee bit of space, gets the ball away beautifully. Fihaki. Shea Fihaki taken down by